Heyo boyos, and welcome to Speedrun Review, a series which I pick a speedrun that I've never done before and learn it with you. Once I reach a time I'm happy with, I'll give my thoughts on the run by rating it and discussing whether I'd recommend it to potential runners. For this pilot episode, we're starting off with a shorter speedrun, Hollow Knight's any percent all glitches category. This means that I can beat the game with any amount of completion and every bug and glitch is legal. I'm aiming for a final time of less than 5 minutes, not counting in-game loading times, since that feels like a reasonable goal. To beat the game normally, players must defeat the Hollow Knight, who resides in the Black Egg, located right next to Hallowness entrance. But the door is magically sealed. This barrier is broken when the 3 dreamers that maintain the seal are killed: Monomon the Teacher, Lurian the Watcher, and Hera the Beast. To reach them and enter their dreams requires various items scattered around the map. That's slow, so we aren't doing that. The speedrun is pretty simple. Start a new game, have everything unlocked because reasons, walk through walls, take a bus, end up in Detroit, get mugged, kill the 3 dreamers, Monomon the Teacher, Monomon the Teacher, and Monomon the Teacher, then kick in the Hollow Knight's door and slay him. Easy, right? I just have to learn how to do any of that. One YouTube tutorial later, and it's time to start learning. The first and most important trick happens immediately. Main menu storage, MMS, is the glitch in Hollow Knight. Categories are defined by whether it's legal or not. Opening the exit game option the same frame the title screen finishes loading causes them to overlap like this. With these 2 menus open, it's possible to begin loading into a save file while creating a new one at the same time. When this happens, the game uses the character data from the pre-made file and places it in the new save's world. By using a Godseeker file that starts the game with all upgrades and charms, then opening a normal game, it creates a faux new game plus of sorts. After skipping through the intro cutscenes, I can start playing. I'm floating. Why am I floating? Let's rewind a bit. See the knight here sitting on this bench. Notice how the game cuts out right as they start to hop off? If done quickly enough, creating a new save file will interrupt the first one before the knight can automatically hop off the bench. This makes the game think that the player is still on it, even in the new game. Floating is one side effect of this confusion, along with the ability to no-clip through walls, open the inventory during loading transitions, and equip charms at any time. While it sounds like a dream come true, this floating movement is dangerous. None of this should be happening, and the game is understandably very buggy, making it effortless to soft lock. Even just using Monarch Wings will send you upwards. Forever. There is no way to adjust your height without jumping or dashing. So, if you get caught at the wrong height, it's over. Also, I don't know if you've realized this yet, but we can't see through walls, though I can still walk around in them, meaning that there's a bunch of blind movement all over the run. And we're just scratching the surface annoyances. Because there are so many tiny mistakes that can immediately end runs, I decide to do my practice in the debug mod. This gives me save states and a hitbox viewer that lets me see what's happening even inside walls. The start of the run isn't too hard to learn. Creating a Godseeker file and hopping across the pillars is easy enough. MMS is hard to get on your first or second attempt, but getting it within 6 is not. The double menuing is a bit precise and it has to be done fast or else the knight will get off the bench before the new game loads, resulting in me not having no clip. I'm not very consistent at it, but it's still easy to understand. All I have left for the first split is to stop my fall with a charge slash at the right height, to stand on this little section of floor within the wall and do a crystal dash. While in flight, I put on the charms needed for the run. Surprisingly, this part is harder than it looks. Menus in this game aren't as responsive as you'd like, so to be quick enough to get them on before the loading zone, I have to time my inputs in the correct rhythm or else the cursor freezes up. As for the second split, it's the easiest in the run. Finish equipping charms by over-charming Spell Twister and dash downwards into the well thanks to Dashmaster. Stop my fall again and C-dash to the Black Egg Temple, leave a Dream Gate and keep moving. Do a loading zone storage dash and a bit of no-clip specific movement, and we're almost there. Grab some Geo to buy the station and dream now the Vengeflies for soul. Then head to the meter and pay. Simple and hard to mess up. It really didn't take me all too long to learn the basics of the first 2 splits, maybe an afternoon or so. But the next split is the exact opposite. Split 3 has the craziest and most difficult to understand glitch in the game: room duplication. The reason runners even bother with the stack station is to set up the room dupe. If you open the inventory while in a screen transition, it prevents the game from ending the loading zone cutscene even after it finishes. Loading zone storage prevents text boxes and new cutscenes from disabling player movement, along with creating momentum quirks like the LZS dash used earlier. The unrestricted movement lets me take a stag to a different station and leave the room while the game fades to black, something that is not normally possible. So now, I'm going to 2 places at once. Which one will I end up at? If you answered both, you're right. The game slaps the 2 areas on top of each other. Aside from looking crazy and often making it impossible to see without the debug mod, it allows for quick room traversal and enables runners to kill Monomon 3 times. I spend many hours loading save states and doing it over and over again until I feel some degree of competency. The journey leads to the archives where Monomon lives. I have no idea why, but sometimes the door just doesn't let you in. When it does, there's a little bit more until I enter the main archives room. Here, I go around the worst boss in the game with an LZS dive and a few dashes. I make sure to land on the floor so I can talk to the required NPCs, then enter Monomon's dream 3 times so that there's 3 of her stacked at once. Hit them a few times and absorb to end the split. With the seal broken now, all that's left is to defeat the Hollow Knight. Quit out to the main menu to get rid of room duplication and no clip, then use the dream gate I placed earlier to warp right to the black egg. LZS lets me ignore Hornet and skip the cutscene, change my equipped charms around, and then end the game. Now I know how to do the run. Next, I need to do it all quickly in one continuous attempt. I'm still far from good enough to do each section consistently. The first split has 3 problematic parts, them being getting MMS, starting the new save file fast enough to get no clip, and stopping the first fall at the right height. Too early. The second split is pretty free, but there's a few unfortunate things that can happen. Third split is pure hell, filled with blind movement and RNG. Got unlucky. And the final split is the Hollow Knight, which I'm bad at. Like, really bad. Oh! I also spent an evening on the THK fight by itself. Still suck at it though. Interestingly, it is possible to skip over the THK stabbing themselves by doing enough damage while they're in a long attack animation. It's very luck dependent and honestly quite inconsistent, so I won't go for it in real runs, even though it saves a few seconds. Now I start to do real attempts without the debug tool and quickly discover that not being able to see makes things a lot harder. I'm missing loading zones and flying off into space left and right. Plus, some of my backup strats don't work if I can't tell what's going on. Back to the lab. I come up with some better setups like breaking longer jumps into 2 smaller ones, and refine my movements in problematic sections to avoid making mistakes that would be hard to recover from. This is where the worst aspect of the run makes itself apparent. The first minute and a half has many reset points and all the cutscenes in the run. It's essentially a minute of cutscenes and 15 seconds of gameplay with 15 seconds of loading time. But in this section you have MMS, getting no clip, stopping at the right height for the C-dash, and charm menuing. Each one of these is able to kill a run by themselves. Most runs don't even make it into Hollow Nest, and the ones that do only have more dangers to worry about. In my about 150 attempts, only 12 finished. The tedium of watching the same cutscenes only to reset immediately after is getting to me. I just love how that cutscene is completely unskippable. Like, oh man, that cutscene's so good, I really want to see it every time. I get a lucky streak early on where I managed to finish 4 runs in a row, but after that comes a long dry period with no completions at all. Eventually, some runs start to finish again. After some grinding, I finally enter the black egg on pace. Oh no! No way! Oh. You can't get much closer than that. At this point, I know my next personal best will probably be it. I mean, there's no way I could get any closer, right? I begin to reset runs when they fall behind pace. Before now, I would try and finish every one I could, but with the end in sight, I kill off bad starts to save time and sanity. And then I managed to get this run. One more PB, man. That's the only thing I need. Unless I PB by less than a fourth of a second, I'm done. This is gonna be a 34. I feel like I was so slow. Not bad. I don't know if I would call it good, but not bad. Ew. That was bad. I lost some time there by just being dumb. Like always. Jennifer's gonna hit me. Yep. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to say anything. Now I really don't want to say anything. Oh no. The nerves are coming now. It wasn't scary until I started to do well. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually so scared now. I'm shaking. Okay, just don't get up. I got this. Just deep breaths. One, two, jump over, up, in. There we go. Stop at the first pus. Kill THK. What did I get? Did I just get self-step skip? I don't even want to know what happened. I can't think. What? Did I just... I think I self-step skipped, like accidentally, without even trying. Okay. Well, this is sub 5. All right. Cool. That was a really bad THK, but I think I got really lucky. It almost doesn't feel real to just be looking at the time of 4:51. Like, I was expecting to get like a 4:59 as my sub 5, but I almost got a 4:40 time. I don't think I'm gonna continue. At least not right now. I need to go to bed. It's like 1 in the morning. Okay, it's only midnight. Not 1 o'clock, I'm sorry. Moving to the review section, I'll be rating the category by 4 metrics, then giving an overall score. First up is difficulty. All in all, the run isn't too challenging. The movement is simple. It's only hard because you can't see very well. Yes, MMS is a frame-perfect trick, but you can take as many shots at it as you'd like, and failing it loses less time than normal because the timer pauses briefly when the game loads the new menu. Equipping charms at the start of the run is a bit tight, still nothing to complain about. I'd say most people can do this run with a little bit of practice, resulting in a score of 2 stars. The next one is similar to difficulty, but has a more quality of life aspect to it. I call it comfortability. This is a rating of how nice the run feels to play, how cozy it is. 0 stars. Everything wants to end your run. That is, if you can even get a run past the first 2 cutscenes with the run still going. Blind movement, endless softlock potential, and sprinklings of RNG lend a hostile feel to the run. As for fun, 3 stars is about accurate. I find glitches inherently pretty cool and enjoyable to mess with. The route is interesting, and even though no clip can be a bit finicky, I found playing with it to be a highlight of the run. What brings the fun down is the poor comfortability. All it takes is a small mistake, and it's back to reset hell. The final metric is the miscellaneous rating. This exists for anything that doesn't fit into the others well. For this run, I don't have much to put here, but I would say that the run is very short, and shorter runs are less enjoyable in my opinion. They're often much less diverse than longer runs, and very reset heavy since it's more realistic to grind the perfect run. This is just personal preference and a small gripe, so I'll still give it 4 stars for Misc. Using these scores as a reference for the overall score, out of 10, Hollow Knight any percent all glitches gets a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed the experience more than not, but I wouldn't recommend it to most people. Hollow Knight is a fantastic speed game, but stick to the non-glitch categories or ones without MMS. That being said, if this video got you interested at all, go for it. I don't regret running AG one bit. It's just not for everyone. That's all for today. I will see you lads, ladies, and lamias later.